Yeah, I'm just trying to evolve my game, just like how the NFL game is evolving. So I'm trying to just be the front runner and lead in that way. So I'm working with the edges, and y'all seen laws out there giving me tips and just trying to get me going in that lane. I think I'm looking to just be more of a complete player. Like a lot of the stuff last year as a rook, I was like maybe like after like week 8 or 9, I started like noticing formations and stuff. So I'm trying to, week 1, I'm trying to notice stuff and be ahead of the game so I can just play fast and make more plays and just finish more and just more impactful plays every drive.
Back on the shores of Lake Washington here at the VMAC, and we are spoiled here when you see Eagles. We've seen 4 or 5 flying around. Now we have one just posing for us out here.
Emmanwori, Eagles, Hall of Famers, Warren. Welcome to America,
Seahawks,
the ultimate Seattle sports. Eagles and Warren Moon, Paul. What else can we ask for
That's
here?
right. All right, we talked about Nick Emmanwori there. He had such a strong rookie season, Warren. He's a big guy. He's what they call kind of a positionless player. But who does he remind you of?
He reminds me a lot of Derwin James at the Chargers in L.A. and also Kyle Hamilton in Baltimore that Mike had there. And those guys are big. They're physical. They can play around the line of scrimmage like a linebacker, like an extra linebacker. You can rush them to the passer. Those guys might have 5 or 6 sacks before the season is over, but they also can cover your tight ends and cover some of your slots too as well because they're such great athletes. And he reminds me a lot of those 2 guys, and I think he's going to have a tremendous career.
I was going to say, how dangerous is when you have Emmanwori and Witherspoon back there? Those 2 are deadly.
They did a great job in drafting those 2 guys. John did, and very, very talented guys, very dedicated guys, very physical players, both of them. Even Witherspoon being a corner, he's a very physical corner. He likes to get after you. He likes to try and punish the guys he's playing against. He'll talk a little noise every now and then as well. So he gives that defense some swag back there.
No, he definitely does. And Ernest Jones kind of echoes what you're saying about Emmanwori. And real quickly, we want to get more thoughts from Warren. But here is Ernest Jones talking about Nick Emmanwori yesterday.
Man, it's to extend, man. Nick's a hell of a player. Nick's got all the tools, the abilities that anybody in the world could ask for. Now it's about maybe next step for Nick would be, I guess classroom, maybe just taking steps, as far as just knowing what plays are before. But Nick's a student of the game. Nick's been doing that, so I expect him to be dominant again.
I think that's what separates some of the better rookies from the guys that come in here a little bit wide-eyed is nowadays these rookies come in, Warren, they're able to hit the ground running. Not so much back in the days when you played, mainly because a lot of head coaches didn't like playing those young guys.
Yeah, they really didn't, and these guys are coming in, like you said, much more prepared. One, because what they're doing in college has a lot to do with what they're going to see in the NFL. They're playing a lot of NFL-type defenses in college now, so they come in a lot more prepared to play, and these guys really get a jump on it as well. They come in as early as they possibly can, even though they're not able to go out on the field with coaches and actually do things because of the limits of time you have. But they get inside the building, they watch film, they do all the different things that it takes to be a really good pro, and then they're learning from their veterans as well, which helps.
I want to get back to the offensive side of the ball and the offensive line. As a quarterback, to have that same offensive line returning with you as a QB, how valuable is that?
That's huge. The continuity of those guys up front is big, especially for this team that likes to run the football. You want that running game to be precise. You want those guys to be like one person coming off the line of scrimmage the way they execute. And if you can keep Abe Lucas healthy, if you can keep Charles Cross, those 2 big tackles healthy, you have a great opportunity to be a really good offensive line, a very physical offensive line. And I think that's the key, is keeping the guys healthy. If you can keep those 5 guys healthy, I think you have a chance to have another tremendous season up front as far as running the football. Then their play-action game will be very, very effective.
Okay, you mentioned running the football. We saw Zach Charbonnet out here working, getting back on the field, but it looks like they're going to give the ball to a rookie, Jadarian Price from Notre Dame. Your thoughts on what you've seen from him?
I loved what I watched in college. I watched him for the last couple of years in college, and even though he wasn't a starter, whenever he got a chance to play, he made something happen. He happened to be behind a guy in Julian Love that was a tremendous player, and so you couldn't play them both. But it reminds me a lot of when USC had Reggie Bush and Lindale White. They had two really good running backs, and they played them both, and they were both very effective. So I think you'll see the same type of production from him behind this offensive line, and it'll be probably a while before we get Zach back because of that knee injury. But somewhere in the middle of the season, we'll get him back, and that'll just make them that much stronger going down the stretch.
Yeah.